before, Jack. I was in Philly wearing a Willie Mays jersey, and they moved.
We're good.
Okay. Hey, we're talking Willie Mays. The meeting will please come to order. Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act has been that on January 18, 2024, a copy of the notice specifying the date, time, and location was posted on a bulletin board outside of Borough Hall, given to the clerk administrator, mailed, faxed, or emailed to the Courier News, and posted on the Borough website. If any member believes that this meeting is being held in violation of the Open Public Meeting Act, please state your views at this time. These proceedings are of a judicial nature. Proper judicial decorum must and will be maintained. The only topics that will be discussed are those that are on the agenda. The next item, roll call, please.
Chairman Adair?
Here.
Mr. Allett? Ms. Carpenets? Mr. McLaughlin? Mr. O'Neill?
Here.
Mr. Vidimski?
Here.
Mr. Flores?
Here.
Mr. Alvarez?
Here.
Mr. Daniels?
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum. Would someone please move that Morgan and Ed's absences be recorded as excused?
So moved.
Okay, next item, salute to the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Someone like to move the approval of the minutes?
I'll move.
Move second. Roll call, please.
Ms. Carpenets? Yes. Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Vidimski? Yes. Mr. Flores?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mr. Daniels?
Yes.
Carried. Next item, resolutions.
The resolution is for Wolf Properties LLC. I believe, Eric Hale had, the applicant's attorney, gave me very few comments. Actually, it was just a couple, having to do with the spelling of the names of one of the witnesses and, one of the architects. And they've been revised, and so everything is ready to go. I certainly recommend the board to, adopt the resolution as prepared.
Okay. Someone like to move the resolution?
I'll move it.
Move. Someone like to second it? Second, moved and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Ms. Carpenets? Yes. Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Vidimski?
Yes.
Mr. Flores?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Carried. Next item, guess would be land use. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Well, if we're talking about the resolutions, and I had spoken with Michael earlier, could you give us a Cliff's Notes synopsis of what happens after the resolution has been memorialized?
Once the resolution is memorialized, excuse me, Mr. Chairman. Once the resolution is memorialized, it's assumed to contain all the conditions that are applicable to the approval. As far as the board should be concerned, there are what we refer to in the profession as the law of the case. So an applicant is subject to those conditions, and if it can't comply, then it can't get a building permit. I know that lately, and I'm troubled by it, I've discussed it with our planner and engineer, we seem to have applicants who don't seem to pay attention to what the conditions need to be, and the reality is that, you know, they're bound by them. If they don't like them, they can come back and make an application to get them excised or modified, but that doesn't mean their application can go forward while that's going on. They have to wait until that gets resolved. And they can't get a building permit while conditions are not being resolved. We really don't have the authority to, I mean, from a standpoint of what our authority is, we've done our authority, we've discharged our authority by the time that resolution is approved. Michael, you know, as the planner, he's essentially the enforcement officer as well as the zoning officer. He works with the zoning officer. It's his job to enforce those conditions as prepared. If there are any modifications to the conditions or special parts of the conditions that may have been in the record or in some letter or something like this, you know, he's generally directed in the conditions like that. You know, there isn't a situation where an applicant could come in and say, oh, well, you know, I didn't mean this. This isn't what we want. It doesn't work that way. And if an applicant, and as you know, we try to, you know, summarize all the conditions.
Right.
You know, sometimes a condition is simply compliance with the engineer and planner's report. Well, frankly, in that situation, it's incumbent upon the applicant to read the report. And if there's a problem, then let us know. But otherwise, the applicant is bound by those conditions. They're bound by the terms and conditions of the resolution. And one other thing, too, and I put this in my resolutions, as did my predecessor, the applicant is bound by all representations made in testimony. So if it says, I'm gonna do X, and even if there isn't a condition, the applicant can be bound by that. And the board can actually go to court and enforce that. So I am concerned about this happening more and more often. And I think that, I've discussed it with Mr. Cole, and I think that we need to take a strong position on it.
Thank
I
you.
mean, I know that with some instances, you know, we're getting, you know, I'm getting communications from applicants about, do we really have to comply with this? I'm getting it from some attorneys, and you know, most attorneys who do this kind of work know that a condition is a condition. It's like a term of a contract, and you're bound by it. Anyway, that's my Cliff's Notes, no pun intended, response.
Michael?
No, I'm good. We have the miscellaneous on the agenda is 340 Union. And there's a slight modification, I think it was in your package, of the townhomes that was approved. The modification's required because of the sprinkler system. That's a 13R system, so there has to be a mechanical room. There was the discussion between 13D and 13R. And frankly, a 13R system is a separate system, not using domestic service, it's the preferred system. So, the applicant essentially needs the board's blessing that that modification of the storage shed on the one end for the mechanical systems for the 13R system is acceptable to the board. It's not, you didn't see this in the plan, but they can't fit the sprinkler system in the footprint. So there's a kick out, it's no more than 3 or 4 feet, and maybe 8 feet long. All it's for is mechanical equipment for the sprinkler system. That's the meter and the valving.
Okay, we'll get back to that later.
Yeah,
Okay.
I just want to let the board know that that's why it's on the agenda, is that slight change and modification of the
Site
facade.
plan review?
Yeah, well,
Site
it's,
plan modification.
it's in compliance, and that modification of the facade the board approved the facade. If the facade's gonna change in any shape or form, the board has to approve it again in some form. I'm not saying a formal give notice and all that, that's why it's on the agenda. I do believe, you know, that they gave the PDFs of the drawing, right? So I think the board received the PDF of the drawing showing this. To me, it's not much, and it's for safety, so I don't have any issues with it, but I told the applicant.
Are they here? They represented tonight?
No,
Okay.
I told the applicant that it would be on the agenda to discuss, just to make sure the board is aware of this slight change
Okay.
on the facade and the reasons for it, which is a 13R sprinkler system, mechanical systems.
Sometimes I like to give these, ask our professionals, we'll pick out a subject of what's a D variance, what's a C variance. It's a civics lesson for edification of our newer members, re-education of our older members, for any applicants and the 12 people who watch us on YouTube. So we like to, we have open government, but sometimes this process is foreign to a lot of people. So the more we can get out there, maybe the less confusion we'll have in the future. Okay, next item on the agenda, application, Easter seals.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman,
Good evening.
members of the board. My name is Bruce Rosenberg. I'm an attorney with Winnie Banta, Israeli Magan, on behalf of Easter Seals.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, may I sit when I present?
by all means.
Thank you very much. All the necessary proofs and publications have been sent to Ms. LaRusso previously. I have 3 witnesses this evening. I have the administrator, director of programs, Dr. Christina Jones. I have our architect, Kurt Ludwig. And via Zoom, I hope, is our land use planner. She unfortunately got a flat tire on 287 in Wanacue. But I believe through the magic of technology, hopefully, she will be able to join us via Zoom. So with that, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I'd like to call Dr. Jones. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, forgive me. Again, I know you've all read the application, but if I may, just briefly. Easter Seals has operated a group home at 4 Halsey Street here in Somerville for more than 20 years. What we're seeking this evening is approval to add 2 additional bedrooms and bathrooms to the home to give us a total of 5, and also add a handicap accessibility ramp to the house itself. And that, in a nutshell, is the application. We do require a D variance because we will be exceeding floor area ratio.
Ma'am, would you be so kind as to stand and raise your right hand? You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
Yes, I do.
Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Sure. Christina Jones, Jones.
Thank you very much. Counselor, your witness?
Thank you so much. Ms. Jones, by whom are you employed?
I'm employed by Easter Seals, New Jersey.
And for how long have you been employed by Easter Seals?
I've been employed by Easter Seals for 4 years.
Okay, and in what capacity?
I started out as a vice president. My current role is chief program officer.
And what exactly does that entail?
Sure, I'm responsible for all of the programs and services that we operate across the state of New Jersey.
Okay, and just tell the board a little bit about the program administered by Easter Seals. What exactly is a group home, so folks know what that is?
Sure. What we do in the group home, we have individuals that have some sort of mental health issue where they require some sort of help meeting goals. So individuals come to us, our clinicians work with them, and we develop individual rehabilitation plans. And based on those plans, we have residential counselors who are in the homes 24 hours a day, and they support the individuals in the homes with their individualized plans. So those plans could include goals such as daily living, it could be life skills, vocational, or anything educational. So whatever their goals state that they want to do with their lives.
And just for the record, from you, how long has a group home been operated here in Somerville?
Sure, this particular home that we're talking about today, we've had since May of 1998, and that's when we start operating that program.
Thank you. And how many residents are currently in the home?
There are 5 residents.
Okay, and just, would you tell the board what the licensure is required for operating a group home in the state of New Jersey?
Sure, group homes, they're licensed by, in the state of New Jersey, they're licensed by the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services. And it's not, you get a license one time and you have a license forever. Every 2 years, we come out and we have to be relicensed, and that site was just relicensed last month.
Okay, and there any other inspections?
Yes, we have fire inspections. We also have Medicaid audit and inspections as well.
Very good. You said it's the Department of Mental Health and Substance Abuse, but just for the record, there are no substance abuse people in this home, and there never will be.
No.
Okay.
So our homes are strictly for individuals that have a mental health diagnosis.
Thank you very much. As you know, we're before the zoning board to construct the second floor addition and to create the 2 additional bedrooms. Just tell the board why you're seeking the approval to add the additional bedrooms.
Sure. So we have maybe 40 homes across the state of New Jersey, 220 beds. All those beds are 100% occupied. We have a wait list of over 100 individuals with about 20 people in this county that are on a wait list looking for a residential placement. So we reached out to the Division of Mental Health and Substance Abuse Services to get approval to add additional beds. We received that approval from the division, and we believe by adding these 2 beds, while it's only 2, those are 2 more individuals that we'll be able to help keep out of the hospital.
Very good. Do any of the residents have their own cars?
No, no cars are permitted by the residents.
Okay. Mr. Ludwig, the architect, will talk about the fact we have 4 parking spaces, 2 in a garage and 2 outside. But again, just for the record, the spaces are used by the counselors, is that right?
Sure. So normally there's 2 cars that occupy the 4 spaces. We have 1 vehicle that we keep on site for the residents, so we take them shopping or wherever they may need to go in the community. And then we have 1 residential counselor at different shifts, but only 1 at a time, where the second space is used for that residential counselor to park their vehicle while they're on shift.
So again, just for the record, there are 3 shifts of 3 counselors, about 8 hours each. Is that
Right.
kind of the way it works?
Yes. Monday through Friday, there are probably 8-hour shifts where we have 3 different residential counselors coming in. On the weekends, they probably work longer shifts, 12-hour shifts. So we have 2 residential counselors switching out on the weekends.
Thank you so much. Other than providing a home for the residents, are there any other events or activities that occur at this house or will occur at this house?
No, so the way our residents work, they're home, just like our house. So if we're gonna have any sort of events that would be more than the individuals that live in the home, we take them out in the community, we take them to one of our facilities or different sites that we have across the state at Easter Seals, New Jersey.
Thank you. And finally, Dr. Jones, in your opinion, do you think adding the additional bedroom and bathroom could have any possible negative impact to the surrounding neighborhood or community of Somerville?
Sure, in my opinion, no. I reached out to my compliance team, I had them do a check. We haven't had any issues at the home that would require us to report something to the state. So, in my opinion, no.
Thank you so much. Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I have nothing further of Dr. Jones.
Anyone have any question of the testimony just given by Dr. Jones?
Yeah, just out of curiosity, this is curiosity. What do these people do all day?
Sure.
Just what goes on?
So it depends on the individual. Some individuals, they go to like a partial program where they receive mental health treatment. It's a full day program. Some of them may go to half day programs. So that could be either with one of our mental health outpatient sites. Some of them have jobs, so they go to their jobs. So they all have a plan. So no one is home all day just sitting in the house unless they're off of work or they're done with their program.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Do you have any veterans with PTSD in the program?
In this particular house, we do not have any veterans in this home. But across our programs, yes, we do.
Also, visitors. Do the residents get visitors?
So the residents can have visitors at the house. Again, this is their home and not like a hospital or some sort of facility. So they can have visitors. There's no overnight visitors.
Okay. Anyone from the audience have any question of the testimony just given by Dr. Jones? Yes. Please come up.
All right, I just have one question before we
Yes,
go to.
go ahead.
I wanted to know, do you know the age group of the individuals that are at stake?
I don't know the specific 5 people. I would have to actually look them up, but our programs are 21 plus.
21 plus. Okay.
Good evening, everyone.
And your
I'm
name?
Patricia Ann Greeley Eston. I live at 120 Lincoln Avenue here in Somerville, lifelong resident, living in a house I grew up in. And Four Halsey is around the corner from me. I don't have a problem with adding more people. I just wanted to know, and I think my question was answered, that the additional bedrooms, how many people would they accommodate? It sounds 1 bed.
Right.
per-
Yeah.
Okay, I just was curious. I mean, if it's 2 or 3 bedrooms, is it going to be 2 to the bedroom, things like that?
No,
I-
so there's single rooms.
Right,
So
okay.
just 2 additional residents of the house.
Right, right. I do see them walking around at 78. I still work full-time for the county, and I'm in and out of the home. So I see them walking, and I don't mind it. I think it's a wonderful thing. So I was just curious, how many more people would be in the neighborhood? That's it. Patricia Ann Eston, E-S-T-I-N. Hi, Richie.
Everybody knows Mr. O'Neill.
Yeah, went through the school system. We all know each other.
Yes, we did.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else from the audience have any questions of the testimony given by Dr. Jones. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Jones. My next witness is Kurt Ludwig, our architect.
Good evening, Mr. Ludwig.
Good evening.
Please raise your right hand. You solemnly swear that the testimony you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, so help you God.
I do.
Please state your name and spell your last name for the record.
Kurt Ludwig, Ludwig.
Thank you, Mr. Ludwig.
Thank you.
Mr. Rosenberg, your witness?
Mr. Ludwig, would you review your qualifications as a licensed architect in the state of New Jersey, please?
Sure. I'm licensed in New Jersey since 1991 as a licensed architect. My office has been at that location at 77 North, since 1991 at the location of 77 North Main Street, Milltown, New Jersey. I'm a member of the American Institute of Architects, the National Council of Architectural Registration Boards. I've testified at numerous municipal meetings throughout the state.
Name three.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Ludwig, did you prepare the set
Excuse me,
of plans,
Could you just name
architectural?
three, Mr. Ludwig?
I'm sorry?
Three municipalities where you've given testimony?
Name three?
Yeah.
Bridgewater, White House Station, Southbound Brook.
Good. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
You're
Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ludwig, did you prepare the set of architectural plans that were submitted with the application with a date of 7/19/2023 revised through 3/20/2024?
Yes, I did.
Mr. Chairman, is your procedure to mark them as exhibits, or they've already been accepted since they've been submitted?
If they've already been filed, then we don't have to do it.
Thank you
But if
very
they're- But if you have new exhibits for tonight, they must be
I
marked.
did add some additional information on those drawings.
Okay,
So I could mark them.
sure,
Can I-
that's fine.
Is it okay if I set up over there?
That's fine.
So long as it's on the record.
Secretary, you can mark this, I think we'll begin with A1.
Sure. Here? All right. No, I'm nervous. That's okay. This is a beautiful room, by the way.
Thank you.
So, would you like me to mark this, since I have additional information?
It should be applicant's A1. Please put the date on it, tonight's date on it.
Thank you. Hello? Does that work? Yep, thank you.
Yes. I
Can you see?
appreciate the clarity. Please speak right into the microphone.
Sure. So on this board, which I marked A1 with today's date, the board includes a site key plan on the lower left-hand corner. The existing home is a split-level design on the corner of Halsey and Post Streets. We're proposing a second-floor addition indicated in blue, which will be located over part of the existing structure. We're also proposing a ramp at the exterior at the left side of the home indicated in gray. People will come down the ramp and then connect to a new walkway which will connect to the existing concrete patio in the rear yard. And I can come back to this page, but I'd like to go to the next page, which I'll mark A2.
And please put tonight's date on it, please. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So this board includes our two floor plans. We have our lower ground floor plan and our upper floor plan. The existing ground floor includes a two-car garage, family room. Up to the mid-level, we have our kitchen, dining room, living room, bathroom, and foyer. Again, to the left, we have our proposed outside ramp with a walkway to the existing patio. The line indicated in blue is the location of the proposed second floor addition. The drawing down on the bottom is our second floor. We have 3 existing bedrooms, 2 existing bathrooms, and again in blue, we have 2 proposed bedrooms and 1 new bathroom there. And I'd like to go to my final board, which I'll mark A3 with today's date. So this board includes views of the exterior of the home with the proposed addition. The addition will be located, as I mentioned, over the existing house, located over the existing living room and foyer. The materials of the addition will match the existing home so that it will all match and flow. Again, to the left, we have our outside ramp, and then we have our rear view, the left side view, and our right side view. And that includes or concludes my presentation.
Can you, Mr. Cole had some comments in his review letter. I think you've just reviewed the colors of the house and the addition. He also asked, providing testimony, the materials used for the ramp and handrail. Can you just go over that?
Sure. I did add a note to the key plan that the ramp will be constructed of composite decking and vinyl railing.
And can you tell the board whether there's a testimony regarding the basement or attic is finished or habitable or non-habitable space?
Sure.
I believe it's for storage, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. The elevation page, I added dimensions indicating the height of the existing attic, which is only about 2.5 feet. The proposed attic will be about the same, so therefore it's not habitable. And I did add a basement plan, which I'll mark A4.
A3.
A4, isn't it?
Oh, A4, yes, you're right.
No, I think you just did A3, so.
Right, so I'm marking this A4?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay.
No, I'm just trying to make sure that
Thank
we're
you.
all squared away.
Sure, thank you. So we added the basement plan, which is located on below part of the existing house. The basement ceiling is only about 7 feet high, therefore it's not habitable. It is used for the storage of furniture, some furniture, and utilities. So the basement is not habitable, nor is the attic.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Cole also asked about whether, if there are any new utilities proposed. If they are, they will all be underground. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And can you just also, for the record, he asked about the location of the AC compressors?
Sure.
Both existing and proposed.
So on A2, I indicate 1 new air conditioning unit here in the rear yard. And currently where the proposed ramp is, there's an existing air conditioning unit that will be relocated to that same location. So they'll both be in the rear yard.
Finally, some general comments. The location of the roof leader discharge is not clear. Ideally, the roof leader should be piped to the street, discharged. Do you have any issue with that?
No, currently I show them discharging on the ground to match what's there, but if the town is open to them being piped to the street, we would do that.
He also noted that we are increasing impervious coverage from 34.9 to 39.44. Still compliant, but he does ask, it's due to the extension of the ramp. Can you provide testimony that stormwater runoff from the site is not adversely impacting the adjoining properties or streets, and that the proposed increase in improvement coverage is not anticipated to adversely impact surrounding properties?
I would say that that's a true statement. It is because of the deck, ramp, and sidewalk. I'd like to also mention that the second floor is completely located over the existing house, so there will be no additional roof coverage.
Thank you. He also noted that the increase of 5 bedrooms may increase sewer flow and a connection fee from SRVSA, and that a condition of approval, if applicable, would be the applicant providing documentation SRVSA connection fee is paid, or that a connection fee is not required. Will we agree to that?
Yes.
Okay. He also noted that given the age of the dwelling, the existing sanitary sewer lateral should be televised in the presence of his office to ascertain its condition, and that if documentation is provided, sanitary sewer lateral was replaced, then television is not required. To your knowledge, was there ever any replacement of any?
Not to my knowledge,
Okay.
but I'm sure we'd be open
But
to.
again, are you agreeable that
Yes.
we would have that? Thank you
Correct.
very much.
You're welcome.
And then you've added a note, the drawing that the sidewalk damaged during construction will be replaced.
Yes.
And again, finally, he noted about a street tree. The subject property is deficient by one street tree. Are you prepared to add a street tree to the property?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I have nothing further of Mr. Ludwig.
Anyone from the board have any questions of the testimony given by Mr. Ludwig?
Sure. I'm sorry? Well, obviously, we'd put it where the wires are not. I would recommend we put it in the front yard here, maybe in front of the ramp.
We'll coordinate that with Mr. Cole. If not, we'll pay the fee.
Okay. Yeah. Right.
Sure.
Okay, sure.
Right.
The testimony earlier was that the residents have mental disabilities, but we have a ramp. Are any of the residents physically differently able?
By code, a ramp is not required. Our client requested the ramp. I don't know the needs of the.
Chairman, it's because we want to, since we're here this evening and we're, adding the additional bedrooms, the folks from Easter Seals thought that, for the future, if we want to be able to have the maximum mobility of folks in the home, we should add a ramp.
Okay.
And that's the purpose.
Okay, good. Anyone else? Anyone from the audience have any questions of Mr. Ludwig? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, our final witnesses are licensed land use planner, Donna Holmquist. Hopefully, she and Ms. LaRusso can put us together.
If not, what are your plans?
My plans would be to adjourn, Mr. Chairman. I would like the ability to have our planner. We do need 5 affirmative votes for the application.
Right.
I was gonna go on my soapbox saying that we tie in the roof leaders and stormwater management's improving. Let's get through this, right?
I just hope she's not zooming and driving at the same time.
No, she took an Uber to her home from the highway, so she's at home, Mr. Chairman.
Not a fun road to drive on when you get a flat tire.
Name one, that is.
Oh, I know, but let's face it, that's a speedway.
I know.
That one in 80.
The stories I could tell about.
Oh, yeah.
287 and a 450 Honda. Didn't know that the bike could go that fast.
Trouble up there with a fire truck, everybody's fast.
Yeah, but nobody gives you any argument when you're in a fire truck.
Just waiting for her
Okay.
to start the meeting. As long as this is here, we should be okay. We look like we're pretty set up on our side.
Okay. Okay.
How we doing?
Just waiting for the other user to start the meeting.
Great work to just get this far.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
It's connecting now, Mr. Chairman.
All right.
There she is. Good evening, Donna.
Hi, thank you for the accommodation. I apologize to everybody.
No apology needed.
Does conform with the lot coverage requirements of the zone and also the maximum permitted height. And lastly, subsection I, desirable visual environment. I'm sure you heard testimony by the architect and a presentation on the design for the house, which in my opinion is compatible with the existing neighborhood. Turning to the statutory criteria, even though this is inherently beneficial use because we're seeking an FAR D4 variance from you, we do need to go through the positive criteria and the negative criteria. The positive criteria for an FAR variance is, can the site handle or accommodate the additional FAR? And in this site, of course, yes, the answer is yes. And the factual findings for that conclusion are that a 5-bedroom home is not atypical for a residential dwelling. We are adding above the existing first floor of the structure. The design is compatible with the neighborhood. Of course, like I said, we're opposite the hospital, which is clearly visible from this residential neighborhood. We comply with the maximum height and coverage, and most significant, we have enough parking between the garage parking and the driveway parking. We actually exceed the amount of minimum required parking per the RSIS standards. As I stated, the rear yard setback, although it's slightly deficient, is about 98% of what's required. And so I do not think there will be any issues with the site accommodating this use. I think it's going to be complementary to the neighborhood. I don't think it's going to stand out in terms of bulk or scale or anything of that nature, and it will not detract from the quality of the neighborhood. Turning to the negative criteria, that's 2 prongs for you to consider. No substantial detriment to the public good and no substantial impairment to the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance, meaning your master plan and land use objectives. In terms of the first prong, no substantial detriment to the public good. We're working with an existing structure, merely adding 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. We comply with everything except the FAR in terms of the proposal. And most importantly, we're adding housing for a very vulnerable population. The second prong, no substantial impairment to the intent and purpose of the zone plan and zoning ordinance. This is an existing group home, just being expanded in a very respectful way to the neighborhood. There's a documented need for group homes, there's long wait lists, and this is providing housing for people who need this type of support. And so that concludes my testimony and my professional conclusions, and I would hope that you find that we satisfy the statutory criteria and you look favorably upon the variance. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Holmquist.
Anyone from the board have any questions of Ms. Holmquist on her testimony?
Thank you, Donna.
Anyone from the audience have any have any questions on the testimony just given? Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no further witnesses this evening on the application of Easter seals.
Is there anyone from the audience?
There's really nothing, anything else but positive to say about it. I mean, it's helping a need that we have. So, I'm all for it.
I agree. I think it's a worthwhile venture, and it's adding housing to a vulnerable population. I see no reason to do anything but approve it.
Brian?
I have no issues.
Roberta?
I concur with what's been said so far.
Rich?
I support it. I think it's a purposeful, good thing for those individuals who live there, and it certainly does help the town to be able to provide this kind of a service.
What they said, very enthusiastic. Yes, I think this is a really good idea.
Not only was the application very good, the presentation was excellent. Cliff, what do we have?
The only, actually, the only condition we have is, in addition to our standard conditions, is the compliance with the coal report, which, as we just discussed earlier this evening, it shouldn't be any problem.
Would someone like to move the application?
I'll move it.
Moved? Moved and second? Roll call, please.
Chairman Adair?
Yes.
Ms. Karpinetz?
Yes.
Mr. O'Neill?
Yes.
Mr. Vidimski?
Yes.
Mr. Flores?
Yes.
Mr. Alvarez?
Yes.
Mr. Daniels?
Yes.
Thank you all so very, very much.
Thank you.
I also want to compliment Ms. LaRusso. We've been working on this for, several months, and every step along the way, she's really been terrific in working with us and getting us here this evening. So thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Have a nice summer.
I'll coordinate the preparation of the resolution with your office.
Thank you. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Michael, do we have anything else?
Just to follow up on 340, if anybody's good with that, just making sure the board's okay with that slight addition for the sprinkler system.
Rich, what do you think?
I think it's necessary. It's a safety provision which this board has thoroughly supported for the last several years, and I think it's in keeping with that. If we have to put a bump out on a building, put sprinklers in it, put the bump out in.
Sounds good to me. Let's make it simple and sweet. It's, and let's not require a modified site plan or amended site plan. Let's just go with it. Everybody in favor of that? Or-
Yep.
Okay. Opposed? It's carried. Okay. We can get back to them, Mike, and let them know.
Absolutely.
Simplified government. That's an oxymoron. So, is there any other business? Remember, I had requested that you take a look at the master plan and zone plan. If there are any changes or recommendations that you have, let's get them August or September. I know we had talked, there's a common problem in many neighborhoods, farm animals.
All right, where can we get a copy of the message?
Online,
Yeah, they have it on the borough website.
right on the borough website. Okay, someone like to move for adjournment?
I'll move.
Move?
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Mike, Jana, thank you so much for facilitating that Zoom conference.
Yeah, good job.
That's right, Jeff.